Hello, everybrony. It is Owl Night. It is Brony time, and welcome to Angels with Scaly Wings. This is a dragon dating simulator. Yeah, we're playing this game on the channel. Yeah. Actually, this isn't a blind playthrough. Just like my Ace Church trilogy, I actually finished the true ending myself, but a few days ago before recording this. But then I bought the PC version for all the wonderful new mods that are gonna add in new characters, endings like Aftermath and Requiem, which kind of tie into each other. Of course, the new better endings, Dine's romantic ending, which we will not be playing with at the start, because if you get that as your first good ending with her, it doesn't unlock the achievement, which means she doesn't survive. So that is the one mod we will eventually be putting back on and playing, but we will not be doing that until we have a Dine's true, vanilla good ending. That's it. Of course, Savior, there's not an ending for Maverick and Redemption. There's a lot of it. And then there's a lot of quality of stuff like, tweaks to the aesthetics, and other things like that. But the main ones are that ending, and of course, a solitary mind for Naomi. Which I will not be, just a disclaimer, this first playthrough, we will not be dating anybody. We're gonna try to save Sebastian. I think we can do that in the first run. I don't know. I'm gonna try at least. But, yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. And, oh boy, this is gonna be very, very interesting to play through this game again with all the new stuff. But I'm excited, and I totally forgot what else I was gonna say. So, let's get on with it. Oh, yes, I will be using a guide for all the dates. I will be using achievement guides to get all the achievements, preferably in our first playthrough. There are several that are tied to dates. So I am going to do the dates that are tied to, things that are tied to dates, because okay, I'm totally out of it. I haven't recorded in so long, you guys, it's crazy. But anyway, let's start the game. Here we go. Detecting user profile. User update profile not found. Okay. Let's see. My first playthrough I went with Caden. I'm gonna go with Will for this playthrough. Wow, there was no. Oh wow, you can quick save. You can quick load. That's something you couldn't do in the original and on the PC console version. So that's nice. Color, blue would be a little hard to see, and red's a little too big. Gray could work. Cyan, magenta, lime. These are very loud colors. Brass, copper, gold, silver. I feel like silver's good. We'll go silver. Yes. Before you start, please review the following information. Use left click or enter to advance text and select menu options. Press space to advance text only. This is useful to avoid making a selection by mistake. Escape or right click brings up the menu. F toggles full screen. Oh, we can use full screen? Interesting. Oh shoot. Hold on, that messed everything up. That messed everything up. Go back to not full screen. Sorry about that, guys. That messed everything up. Okay. Use mouse wheel or page up or page down to review past messages. Rewind. Hold control or press tab to skip seen messages. S takes a screenshot. Middle click or H hides the text window. If you wish to view this information again, you could do so from the main menu. Perfect. That would be all. The year is 20XX. Oh shit, I have to click. Only recently has humanity discovered a portal that leads into a different world, populated with a race of intelligent, talking dragons. I was one of the few to travel to this world. But maybe I should start at the beginning. It all began when we discovered a strange device in the middle of nowhere during one of our expeditions. A portal. I had heard about similar technology before, though that had been more on an experimental level. From what I knew, other portals had been created in the past, and were under consideration for mass application. As for this one in particular, though, we did not know who had built it, nor when or why we found it in the wilderness where we did. What was more exciting to us was the fact that it was functional. After our first test, we found there was someone else on the other side who was in possession of a similar portal, and our attempts at communication through letters were successful. But, in the end, the machine's extraordinary demand for power meant we needed to act quickly, as we wouldn't be able to keep the portal open much longer. When we made this known to the other side, we received a very unexpected reply, a letter of invitation. After some deliberation, it was decided to accept their hospitality and send a person to the other side. There was an individual who took the job almost immediately. Reza Izquierdo. I knew him, or rather had known him. We attended the same school back then, and even had a few classes together. We never really were very close friends, but we talked to each other occasionally and hung around with the same crowd sometimes. However, we still went our separate ways in the end. I wasn't sure what to think about the whole thing. But he had to have known what he was doing. He was certainly brave. Either that, or just very, very foolish. While I wasn't sure which, his courage was applauded by others. After all, he couldn't possibly have known who or what would await him at the other end of the portal. And if he did meet someone there, who knew what kinds of attentions they might have? Not that any speculation on our part would have made a difference. When the day finally came, though, he went with applause, echoing across the area, equipped only with the clothes he wore, his multi-tool, a gun, and a device on his wrist that acted as a PDA. Then we waited. The crowd that was applauding him slowly dispersed when the enthusiasm died down, as there was nothing for us to do but wait and speculate. Approximately 8 hours later, we received our first message from him. While we had assumed the portal led to another in a different country, or maybe on a different continent, the reality turned out to be much more foreign. The situation he described to us was so outlandish that we initially took it as a joke. A very bad joke, maybe, with even worse timing and no punchline at all. It soon became clear to us, though, that we may just have made one of the most important discoveries since the dawn of mankind. Finding the portal had been remarkable in itself, but this took it to a completely different level. From what he described about the place, or accurately its inhabitants, we surmised it could not be part of Earth at all. We called them dragons, because according to Reza, that's what they were, or at least what they resembled most. Even though we found it hard to believe, it had been these dragons who sent us all the letters. What Reza had found on the other side of the portal was a whole civilization of them. They could talk, write books, had buildings and electricity. In many ways, their society was actually very similar to our own. So, who were they? And where was this place? Could they be aliens? Our speculations led us to conclude otherwise. Then, we knew about the existence of thousands of planets, millions of light years away, that may have been theoretically, habitable. Yet, even then, we had never found conclusive proof in regards to actual alien life forms. Some people brought up quantum mechanics and parallel universes, but in the end, all of this was just conjecture, an ultimately fruitless endeavor, since we neither had the means nor the resources to explore these possibilities in greater detail. I think there's just one more thing worth mentioning before I move on. The previous isolation had been mutual. They hadn't known about any other intelligent life form beyond their own. Their portal had only recently been discovered, and was a technology previously unknown to them. And just as we had missed about dragons, they had missed about us. That was what we knew about them so far, and as interesting as learning those things and debating their cultural significance was, we didn't really know what we should make of it all. Riza apparently was sure of what he was doing, though as he eventually let us know that they had agreed on a trade. We were to give them a few of our PDA devices, which contained vast amounts of knowledge, dwarfing even that of encyclopedias. In return, they would supply us with generators. Overall, they didn't seem as technologically advanced as we had been, But they did surpass us in that one aspect. Their means of generating energy seemed sustainable. Not only that, but evidently also quite efficient. We certainly would be able to put technology like that to good use, and trading mere past knowledge of the human race for something more tangible was a good call on his part. That was where I came in. My prior experience in both biology and sociology made me a good fit to deliver our PDA devices for the trade. While in the Dragon's World, waiting for the prototypes of our generators to be manufactured by them, I would act as an ambassador on humanity's behalf. What a way to make a first impression by a display of mutual goodwill. Everyone benefits, and everyone goes home happy. All is well. At least, that was the plan. Despite the images that living, talking dragons might conjure up in some people's minds, I didn't even think of bringing a weapon myself, considering that they were reportedly friendly and peaceful enough. There's no need for me to fear potential ill intentions like Riese did when he had stepped into unknown territory. And acting as humanity's ambassador, I had to do my best to uphold a high standard in fostering this diplomatic relationship. When the time came for me to step through the portal, all my mental preparedness vanished. My anxiousness was fueled by all the questions lurking in my head, just as machine started to do its work. Would it hurt? What would I meet on the other side? What if they really weren't so friendly, and just made Riese write those letters with the pretense of appearing friendly, only to lure us into the den of man-eating monsters and certain doom, thus ending up as nothing more than a tasty afternoon snack? Oh, buddy, you have no idea what you're in for. Maybe I should have brought a weapon after all. Suddenly, I felt a shiver coursing throughout my whole body. When I disintegrated, as if every cell, every atom of my body was torn from me and pulled into a different direction. I saw darkness and light, painting patterns in the stars as I traveled. And images rapidly flashed before me of things seen, unseen, and unspoken, both horrifying and beautiful. It was an experience unlike any other, yet over in just a split second. Then it was dark. I could only see a patch of lighter color contrasting with its dark surroundings. As my vision started to clear, its edges got sharper as the patch of light slowly took shape, giving me the distinguished outline of a reptilian head and an array of horns spouting from it. It was a dragon. As I could now see, who not only had a pair of round glasses. Hold up. Hold up. What? Okay. Interesting. Okay. Just trying to remember how to get rid of the text box, but I can't seem to remember. It was a dragon, and as I could see now, a dragon who not only had a pair of round glasses, but also wore a burgundy tie around its neck. Ah, I can't remember. Oh, it's middle mouse wheel. Okay, perfect, perfect. There we go. I want a screenshot for the thumbnail. It was a dragon, and as I could see now see, a dragon who not only had a pair of round glasses, but also wore a burgundy tie around its neck. Oh yeah, here it is. This is the side mod that I downloaded. Side images. In the name of our people, in the name of our people, I bid you welcome. If I may introduce myself, I am Remy, your guide and ambassador, a representative of our council. Dragon spoke. It was one thing to have heard it about and read about this, but something else entirely to have one standing in front of me, in flesh and blood, and tongue. Okay, I don't remember that one. It was good that all my mental preparedness had disappeared when I was teleported, because nothing could have prepared me for this. Sorry, I imagine you might still feel the effects of teleportation. Drowsiness or weakness is not unusual, as is fainting and spontaneous emptying of your bowels, bladder, or stomach. How do you feel? Rendered speechless, I had totally forgotten that I was shouldering the burden of representing my people to them as well. So much for being professional, but at least he gave me a good excuse for my blunder. I think I'm all right. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Maybe we should go before it gets too dark. Come with me, please. So I followed the dragon, not straying too far from him. as the sun had already departed for the day and the remaining light diminished by the minute. It is getting hard to see where I'm going. Sorry about that, but we had a good reason to schedule your arrival like this. We did not want you to be ambushed by a crowd, so we had to keep your exact time and date of arrival a secret. Thanks. Suppose an event like this would make me a celebrity of sorts. It would be the same if one of you came to us. That's quite an understatement. Some people here are rather superstitious. They might regard you or any of your kind as divine, I suppose. Really? How so? We do have certain myths that involve humans and such. Oh, I suppose the history lesson will have to wait for another time. Here we are. By this point, it had gotten so dark that I could barely make out the building before us. I briefly wondered whether they might have streetlights elsewhere, or if they just did not require any due to possible enhanced eyesight or night vision. I could vaguely see the dragon, his light color still visible within the blackness that engulfed the area, rear up and manipulate the door handle with one of his forepaws. Hinges creaking, the door opened, and with a flick of a switch, the apartment was flooded with light, blinding me after all the time we had just spent without it. This is where you will live for the time being. It is fully stocked, but in case you need anything else, I left you a note with a few phone numbers. It is getting rather late, so I will have to take my leave now. In any case, someone will come and meet you tomorrow morning. Thank you, Remy. Have a good night. Until we meet again. With a nod, Remy left the apartment, mindful enough to close the door behind himself. Surveying the room, I considered the events that had just transpired as my gaze met the window. I could see movement outside, and as I drew nearer, startled, I could hear footsteps in the grass, moving away quickly. Assuming it must have been the dragon I just met, I thought nothing of it as I went to bed and slowly succumbed to the sweet allure of sleep overdue. I spent a few moments thinking about, dang it, can I go back? Shit. Okay. This is gonna be interesting. Okay. Move up. There we go. Okay. I spent a few moments thinking about my role, my mission, and what it meant to be here now. I don't think this choice matters. I felt the responsibility placed on my shoulders. Now here I was, a stranger in a strange land, as I only began to feel the weight of the burden that lay upon me, the pressure of my task, the expectations I would have to meet representing a species, culture, and civilization. So many would depend on it, yet I did not even know where the only human contact I had currently was. I was alone. Dang, that's loud. I don't know how loud that was for you guys, but that was really loud for me. I got good Bluetooth headphones, so of course I can't use the Bluetooth when I'm trying to record. It creates sound issues. I woke from an easy dream, looking at an unfamiliar ceiling. Just for a moment, I wondered where I was before the events of last night all came back to me. After a good stretch, I looked around the room, illuminated by sunlight coming in from the window outside, in the distance. The portal I had emerged from proudly stood on the peak of a small hill. Okay, I'm just gonna say this really quick. The music, 10 out of 10. Like, I really love when people, like, use music to, like, create an atmosphere. And, like, we're not... Our apartment music is interesting, like, apartment music, you know, place of refuge of safety, so the little piano... And the drums, good as well. Let's just listen to it for a second. Dun, dun. Dun, dun. Okay, there we go. Getting ready, I noticed something lying on the table. It was the note Remy had left for me in case I needed anything, along with his own home phone and work number. There were also some numbers for delivery of food and other necessities, as well as emergency and even janitorial services. He had certainly thought of everything, even though I now had to wonder what a dragon plumber might look like. My musings were interrupted when the doorbell rang. When I opened the door, I was met by another dragon. Hello. You must be Will. I'm Sebastian, and I'll be your escort. Or security, I suppose. Usually I work for the police, though. Nice to meet you. He seemed a lot smaller than Remy, and when he somewhat nervously extended his arm towards me, I noticed he apparently only walked on his hind legs, the two forelimbs instead having distinct arms, hands, and fingers. Do we kiss his hand? I'm gonna kiss his hand. When I took his hand into mine, preparing to kiss it, I could feel the individual bumps on the scales on his rough skin. Nice to meet you too, Sebastian. So, where are you taking me? Straight to business, huh? We're going to visit the plant where they are making your generators. They have some news for you, or so I've heard. Riza will be there too. Sounds great. Just follow me. While we walked, I was under the impression we were purposely avoiding the busier parts of town, instead straying towards the edges and small alleys as to not garner too much attention. Even then, we got the occasional stare. After just a couple of minutes, we arrived at our destination, where we were met by Riza, as well as yet another dragon, a vicious-looking beast that didn't stay too close to him. Hey. Riza, long time no see. How true that is. Good to finally see another human face around here. What a coincidence to have you, of all people, show up. Yeah, guess those degrees aren't so useless after all. By the way, who's your friend? Just my bodyguard, same as yours. Don't bother with him. He doesn't talk much. Just like you. Very funny. The two dragons exchanged a few words, and as I met the gaze of the larger Tenburish dragon a few paces from us, Sebastian turned towards me and spoke up again. Hey Will, this is Maverick. Nice to meet you. Yeah, whatever. Just don't expect me to give you any special treatment like everyone else's, and we'll be good. What are you talking about? So, you're saying you haven't noticed the stairs and how they all treat you like you're the next messiah or something? No, I just thought... We're not the ones making a big deal out of this, you are. We're just here to get what we agreed on, and then we'll be gone. If anything, I'd actually prefer if you left us alone. But you're the one who insists on following me around wherever I go. A growl escaped the darker dragon's trembling lips as he bared his teeth at Riza. Alright, that's enough. Let's just all go inside already, shall we? After you. Crisis was quickly averted as we entered the building, which was characterized by its many floors, high ceilings, and long, narrow hallways as Sebastian led us to our destination. There you are. I was waiting for you. Wait a minute. I thought we were going to meet the guys from production. What are you doing here? They're only coming in later today, so you'll just have to make do with me. Make do with me? Trying to get the voices down. I see. Well, Will, this is Anna. She kind of manages this building, though actually she's more involved with the research wing rather than production and engineering. Nice to meet you. My pleasure. I have something for you, by the way. It'll take them a while to make all the generators you promised, but we got one for you here. Feel free to send it home and give it a test. That's great. I'll take it. Looks a little small, if you ask me. Don't underestimate its power. Oh, and do be careful not to drop it. Sure, I'll be waiting outside while you do your thing, Will. I suppose we'll wait for you outside as well. What thing? Oh, have you brought the PDA? Of course, here you go. Alright, now to give this thing a test run. The PDA lit up as her hands swiftly moved around its interface in calculated motions. By the way, would you consider letting me run some tests on you as well? It would only take a drop of your blood. What? Why? I work in biology, so obviously this kind of thing would be very interesting to us. I'd share the results with you, of course. Sure, why not? Great! It was quick to produce a small device from a drawer, which from a glance reminded me a lot of the test tube. Now, if you would give me your hand, please. As I reached out to her, she took my hand into hers before she pressed the device into the back of my hand. I winced as pain jolted through my hand. Something sharp drove itself through my skin, and shortly afterwards, a droplet of blood was sucked into the tube, attached to the small needle. Thanks. You're welcome? You gave Anna your blood. Blood donation. looks like your PDA is good. By the way, so we're just about done here, and since we're both in biology, it could be interesting if you want to meet some other time as well. Here's my number. Alright? See you soon. Done with my mission for the time being. I headed outside to meet up with Riza. I love how, like, she's just, like, immediately attracted to us, like, even though, well, maybe not. She's just a little shy, I guess, because, you know. As I was passing through one of the long corridors by a long, tall windows, my attention had been solely focused on a group of dragons sorting and stacking metallic crates into the yard. Suddenly, I had this strange feeling of not being alone in the hallway. Hold up. I'm gonna put a hard save here. Wait. How'd that work? Save. Or this just... Auto? Oh, okay. Okay, oh, I see. Okay. Sorry, guys. I played this on console. All this stuff didn't exist there. So I'm just getting a little feel for it. The ground? I looked up and decided what a big blue dragon. That was interesting. Wait, what? Huh. Hello. Hold up. See, I think that was to do the, I'm gonna load, yes. I'm going to ignore that feeling. Wait, so is this? To the window. Okay. As I said, I'm not doing any of the, okay. Look around. I looked up just in time to avoid a big blue dragon from running into me. She seemed to be in a hurry, and I didn't want to interrupt her. Okay, good. I don't want to start that mod yet. I know exactly what that was going to start. Okay, so we are at time. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna save again right here. I'm gonna save over this one because I don't need to go back to that choice. Perfect. So, yeah. Welcome to Angels with Scaly Wings. If you haven't played this game before, I will not be spoiling any of the story. I'm not going to talk about future events in detail. I'm not going to talk about what the good endings entail, what the dates entail. I'm just going to play through this first time, reading everything, and then in our next playthroughs, we'll just skip all the main story crap because we won't need to see it. Except this one to start with Naomi eventually. Of course, I will be telling you the name of the dragon, because she is mentioned in their vanilla game, I think? But yeah, that's who we just avoided seeing, because this is a spoiler for any of you. I don't really feel bad giving you this spoiler, because I feel like it can just save you some time. You cannot get a good ending in the first playthrough. You can either do a neutral ending or the bad ending for a character. So, if you don't want to see any of the bad endings, you don't care about that, just avoid dating any dragon on your first playthrough, I would recommend, just so, like, you can keep the future dates unspoiled. Because I spoiled all 4 of Anna's and Bryce's dates on the first playthrough, and then I couldn't get the good ending. So, that irked me a bit. So, just warning you all now. But in terms of the actual details of the story, completely silent on it. Yeah, but I hope you're all going to enjoy the story. Please leave a comment if the music is good, if the sound is good, that I'm not too loud, or the game's not too quiet, I'm not too loud, or the game's not too loud and I'm too quiet. Just let me know. But yeah, so I'm really excited to play through this game with you guys for a second time. The whole reason I wanted to record this game was because I had to play through the main story again, so I wanted to do it on video, all this stuff on video with you guys. So, thank you all for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to Brony Time for more content, especially more dragon dating shenanigans in Angels with Scaly Wings. And please... Oh my god, I forgot my outro. Or at least the end of it. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to Brony Time for more content. This is Angels with Scaly Wings, especially more Angels with Scaly Wings Okay, it's the last part. I will see you guys all next time. I'm back, baby! Oh, God.